from a man-created cell base of knowledge and reality to the highest superior knowledge of God and all universes, Christ's consciousness. My ability to reconnect to science through the encrypted knowledge of the soul and energy of the universe has brought me to a place of understanding I never could have imagined. I have learned there is no separation between humans and other organisms of life and that all things are connected in some way and exist as a whole. I am proud of my determination to reconnect to the past and produce, in the present, pure evidence of my discoveries, which has been right in front of us the entire time. Prepare yourselves, for what you are about to experience is pure knowledge that will make total sense and resonate with your soul. Like me, you will find yourself looking off into space as your mind wraps around the facts that show evidence given by every material thing around us. The way to broaden your mind's ability is to use it to manifest what is most important and to identify that humans usually react to the actions of others, whether implied or given as a reality. To ensure the program that has been created continues to thrive, I will explain more about the concept of a program that controls the mind later. The mind must be opened completely to advance in the ability to produce a natural, desired effect from just a thought. Chapter 3: The Superior Knowledge of This Universe. How do our minds interact with the very universe that is responsible for our ability to sustain life in all its vastness? The science behind the complex mind harbors so many amazing gifts of superior knowledge within us. These gifts are just waiting to be rediscovered. The vast numbers of receptors located throughout the vessel, or body, have been reacting to the wrong system of information that has been taken into your mind and brain, creating the wrong programmed cells that make up both our current environment and reality, creating a void in our heart. Both the mind and body are ready to be fired up and used in a productive way for the benefit of all species of energy by means of knowledge that leads to love. This creates new cells by changing the paradigm from fear to love forever through the energy vibrations of our being. This is the conductor to the energy of our purpose. We have the ability to harness the energy in and around us. Once the knowledge has been learned and utilized in a way that will enlighten the heart, we can begin the journey home to our natural macrobiotic state of mind. We will begin to understand the vibration of this planet and how energy can be neither created nor destroyed. No matter how many times we experience what we call death, death is not real. I am sure we are left with the concept that because we can see our loved ones, it means they no longer exist. This concept could not be further from the truth. I know I ascended to the higher realm 13 years ago after a near-death experience. Death is not what we are supposed to practice in any reality, especially that of consciousness, or believed to be real. Yes, we do ascend to the higher realm, but only after we have been processed through the buffer that exists between this reality and the higher realm. Pure knowledge of what is real and true must be achieved and realized from within while we are in the current powerful consciousness of existence, so we may graduate to a higher level of understanding before we return to the higher dimensions. The true beginning of our existence, which is unknown at the moment, will soon be revealed. Mankind is much older than we have been taught. From my experience while in another dimension of reality, I have recovered the exact amount of time of my most recent stay in the superior realm, which was 3 days total during my experience of what we have been taught as death. As I stated above, if the required knowledge is not mastered in this powerful reality of consciousness, then because of our own foolish ignorance, we are sent back to this dense system of reality that is totally man-created. We ascend every time with ignorance and return to this consciousness infused with the truth of superior knowledge. However, we eventually fall into the same trap of enslavement of the soul and mind due to the environmental factors we are given in this reality, which prevent us from living a balanced existence. We are not able to remember or relearn any of this knowledge on our own because of the simple fact that we are not in balance with nature. Divine intervention throughout the ages has kept this message of truth alive. That truth is, to take complete control of our destiny and to seek knowledge and be reunited with the truth of our origins. We are godlike. We surely are created in His likeness, capable of learning all that is required to live and exist in a reality of bliss and love and gratitude. When we rediscover the truth, we can see how simple it is and always has been. It seems so easy to take in the knowledge when we are in the higher realm, but because of how this system of reality has been designed, it is difficult for us to grasp the knowledge from infancy. By the time a child is old enough to speak, This knowledge has been slowly buried deep in the subconscious mind. The cells of the child become influenced by his or her surroundings of both the reality and the environment of his or her extended family and society. The knowledge could resurface, but in many cases, souls and their personalities do not succeed in facing the reality and seeking the truth, much less the birth knowledge of superior law. It is sad that this is even permitted. I myself have returned to this reality way too many times. However, this time in this current most powerful consciousness, I had only one reality to rediscover, and there was only one that I thought was not important. That one very important thing I needed to master was the science of how wealth is achieved and created. This is the concept I blamed wholeheartedly for the creation of our enslavement and the current condition of the soul that we have been subjected to exist in. It is not the wealth that is at fault. It is our minds not seeing the importance to think and to understand how all things come together from a scientific perspective. All things are connected, and there is no separation between us and what is around us or what we create. Knowing this does not require a formal college education. In fact, college serves only one purpose. It serves to continue the system of reality created solely by man and all concepts and programs hatched from the network of this group that is responsible for this current reality, whether said or implied. The system created has served the purpose to ensure this reality survives, and it continues to be our reality in which we practice and exist in. There is no knowledge that is superior to the higher realm of God. Man's law does not hold a candle to the highest knowledge that is connected to our free will and the natural energy of our universe. Only superior knowledge creates superior wealth, and as each person masters this concept through his or her free will, it is where the creation of all things begins. How did I make this very important discovery that came to me through what I believed at the time to be a dream? We have all been led to believe that when we sleep and experience surreal events, our minds are dreaming in an unreal, unconscious state, and the only reality is the one we can see, touch, or experience in our waking hours. This is another attempt to present an untrue tale to let us to believe we are powerless, weak, and incapable of thinking and making our own decisions. As my energy became alchemy and could escape this reality and the vessel that housed it, I realized I had been traveling to the higher realm. I am confident in knowing that Christ was present in my mind as I astral visited him in the higher realm numerous times while in this current consciousness. This was crucial in my research. This alone explained how I had so much knowledge though I had yet to pick up a book. For the longest time, I felt like a freak, not understanding all the things I had witnessed, things like airplanes falling from the skies, armed men breaking down residence doors, and two spaceships that were coasting parallel to each other in space. Many times I would go to sleep early to get a good night's rest, yet the next morning I felt as though I had run a marathon. I never understood why my vessel felt so worn down. My soul's energy was leaving my body and going to so many places, and I had no idea until I realized Christ wasn't the only spiritual being to talk to me in depth about astral projection or out-of-body experiences. I remember on 2 separate occasions being woken by my now ex-boyfriend Joseph as I was having an out-of-body experience. I recall my body feeling the sensation of my essence, my energy and soul, returning. Wow, what an amazing experience it was to be awake as my energy returned to its vessel. As I descended back to my body by means of my lifeline, a silvery transpersonal antenna that keeps my spirit attached to my vessel and stays connected to me while I soar to wherever I want to go. I remember not wanting to return because it was so much fun and felt so natural. In this state of consciousness, you are not limited to where you can go or what you can do. Our energy has the ability to travel through walls, windows, doors, fire, water, and even boulders. I found myself defying the laws of physics with every natural rule broken once I realized I had been doing this for the eternity of my existence and that I was an offspring of my very own creator, God. I was visiting the higher realm, gathering the truth of our origins. I can recall Christ sitting in a huge stone chair and all the knowledge I have come to know from my astral travels. I saw animals unlike the animals in this reality. I remember an animal that looked like a deer, but it had wool on its underside and the fur of the upper torso of the deer on its back. This is exactly what the Egyptians were known for, alchemy and the ability to travel through matter. It makes perfect sense now. Our energy is not limited in any way. Once I realized where and how I acquired my knowledge, I paid close attention. This is a very important part of our knowledge and our path of consciousness. Being reunited with the natural source of knowledge and energy of our brilliance is real freedom. It was because of this that I was able to see, in this present consciousness, the required knowledge that will save our souls in this current reality. The only way to ascend to the higher realm is to use the mind and learn the knowledge that must be mastered in this realm of consciousness, relinquishing the part of illusion that we call reality, which we have allowed to enslave our souls. This knowledge is necessary before we can be free from the current reality that has only rendered want, fear, and ignorance. Many have been conditioned to believe, and act upon the belief, that hard labor renders wealth. In some cases it absolutely does, but the mind is always far more capable to create wealth at a much faster rate than hard labor can. Many have worked their vessels to the bones to achieve masses of wealth toward the end of their lives by practicing the system man has created. In many cases it is almost always for the wrong reason. To exist and operate by a system that is based on deceit, to control others by a design that requires intelligent humans to pay to live on a planet that cannot and will not be owned by anyone. That is another illusion of man. We can be educated through college and perform certain duties to achieve riches to exist in this reality and yet fail to learn the true purpose of that existence, which is to seek the knowledge that is superior to what man has created. The result of the soul cheating itself of the experience and reality of true purpose is that it will not recognize the freedom to expand the mind to all dimensions above this current dimension of reality sustained by man. To know this higher realm of knowledge does not elite man's knowledge, rather, it contrasts what is real with what is implied and created by man, not God. The law of man, in the past and the present, was created out of the darkness, proving the ignorance that man is capable of practicing. The system designed by man was the attempt to erase the laws of our Creator by creating a reality of limited abilities of our energy, souls, and vessels. The laws of man were to coincide with the laws of the entire universe. After all, we are intruders on this planet and are entitled to inalienable rights that cannot be governed by man but only by the Creator himself, which is God. I recall being 23, arriving here a very long time ago, from a galaxy that was one of many that once neighbored planet Earth. We harbor many levels of elements in our existence, and as it states in alchemy, the elements are air, fire, and water. Sulfur, salt, carbon, and several others exist as well. To realize the science of who we are and how we connect and fit into this existence is nothing short of amazing. We are all godlike. We are an infinite source of energy that can never be destroyed. Our energy has no limits. We have accepted who we think we are from the ones who designed and created the past and current reality, believing we are just a body whose only purpose is to spend money, pay bills, and buy cars to store in our fancy homes. In reality, we are enslaved for their purpose and convenience. This is so they can exist in a reality made up of their own illusions of economics and the thrill to see others suffer by their own ignorance, each human not knowing that he or she has held the key and power the whole time. Chapter 4: The Science of Cell Interaction in the Vessel. The cells in the human body are influenced by the vibration of the environment around us. They will impact us in some way if we do not understand how the laws of man affect our own vibrations and what transpires around us. The level of vibration our bodies function at depends on how we are able to comprehend our own environment and how it impacts us to be light-spirited or dark-spirited. We have the ability to manifest our desires by creating new cells that will evolve to reside within once the human begins to be enlightened about the powers of freedom from within the vessel. The energy inside us reacts to outside energy and is drawn to us by our own vibration manifested by the heart. Our vibration is a result of what is happening around us and how we react to what is projected at that moment. To understand this is absolutely a matter of living or just existing. Without this realization of truth,